spirituality is many things to many people, but to me, it's an understanding. It's a way of being. It's a connection to ancestors, to place, to family, to our own inner spirit, our sense of self. It's feeling that connection to creation. I think there's spiritual practices that people do or participate in that strengthen those spiritual connections or remind them of those connections or their own spiritual center. But spirituality is, I would say it's more than values. It's a way of being. It's carrying an understanding of life and the seen and unseen world.
For spirituality, I don't know, it centers me, and so then I think that it just offers me essentially more freedom and like passion for life. So like as I've like gotten older, then I just feel a lot more free to experience whatever comes at me in life. And I don't know, if I wasn't a spiritual person, if I didn't like have my spiritual practices, then I feel like I would be very lost, like, and just really boxed in or conditioned by what society wants you to believe in. So I think that my spirituality gives me like a different perspective than the norm.
I think that as I grew older and I grew to love and accept myself for who I am, that made me more open to different views, made me more open to different beliefs, and I think that's what shaped me. But I couldn't do that until I was able to accept who I am as a person. Being a Catholic, you go to church and you know when to stand, you know when to sit down, you know what to do, and it's and part of that I've always loved because I knew what to expect. I like to, I don't like surprises, so that's always comforting. But then as I grew older and my beliefs and my beliefs in different things changed around, birth control, for example, LGBTQ issues, etc. Then I sort of changed the way I grew in a different way.
It was really hard for me to separate spirituality from religion. So in the context of school, I would say that what drives me spiritually is knowing that I come to school every day and I do my best to make every student feel safe and welcome in my room.
I've been an educator for 8 years in the public school system, and I've always believed in nurturing the whole child. And so we're said to teach, the content area, but all teachers know that that's not all you do. And so I always try to think, like, what is the right moral compass to guide my students on, and how much is it of, my job and my stepping, over boundaries here with students and how I think they should act and how they should feel. And I think through mindfulness in the classroom, which is something that's new, and a lot of public schools are kind of opening their doors to this, especially because there's curriculum now that's created for mindfulness. But I feel like through mindfulness, it lends itself to students kind of touching their inner spirit, and whether they believe it or not, that little bit of breathing exercise that you do, or those stretches that you do, or the thoughtful listening activities and listening to your body, I think that will allow students to develop their own spirituality.
When I think of spirituality, I think of a level of connection that is unseen. Like, you can't explain this, and it is not emotional or intellectual in that it doesn't fluctuate or change according to, what you're thinking or feeling at that time, but that it creates a spiritual connection, would create a sense of well-being that is able to persevere through circumstances that otherwise would rock your world. So for me, that means connecting with my creator and the world around me on that kind of like deeper level. I used to, when I was like a first new like Christian, I was like, oh, you're supposed to read your Bible every day, and you're supposed to pray a certain way, and you're supposed to go to church, and it like immediately was just like suffocating to me. And so I wasn't raised in a church. I wasn't ever really exposed to anything like that. So I'm really thankful for that, because I could develop an authentic connection with God.
For me, spirituality is something that endures, and it's often guiding responses to the physical world of information or crises or challenges, the things that come up, whether we're looking at Standing Rock or climate change or the recent election. I think spirituality is our center. It's for me. It's I won't say it's gotten stronger. I think at 4 years old it's probably pretty strong, but I'm more aware of it. I'm more conscious of it, of it as I've gotten older.